Starting a YouTube channel is literally one of the hardest and most challenging things you will ever do, and I mean it, because you have to learn the technical side of YouTube when it comes to everything, including camera settings, camera gear. If you're an absolute beginner, this is gonna feel overwhelming and intimidating. You also have to figure out how to make good content, audio, lighting, all of that, grow an audience, and then monetize the thing, get sponsors, get brand deals, make this something that is financially viable. Now, starting out, this might be a fun hobby. Maybe you're not trying to be a full-time content creator, in which case, take my advice with a grain of salt, because over here, you're on the making money on YouTube channel. So what I will tell you is that if you're starting with 0 views, 0 subscribers, one of the first and most important things that you can do is figure out your content strategy. And to do that, you need to be very careful. You have to choose the right audience on YouTube, and you need to figure out what your goals are, because you could find yourself blowing up on YouTube and still be broke because you chose a niche that was very difficult to monetize. Or you could find yourself making good money on YouTube, but being frustrated because your growth is stagnating, or you're not getting the views, or maybe it's very difficult or challenging for you to show your value to sponsors because you can't get views consistently. That also has to do with the audience that you picked and the niche. You could be an audience that has really good CPMs and RPMs on ad revenue. Maybe even it does really good on affiliate links, or people are buying stuff from you. But then you still feel emotionally drained because you're passionate about this and you're not getting the views. There's a smaller group of people that are passionate about the same things that you are. These are challenges that happen because of something called total addressable market. It's called TAM in business. What does this have to be with being a YouTuber? This has everything to do with being a YouTuber. How big the market is for your ideas, how big the audience is for your ideas, decides how many people exist that could click on your video when it shows up in the YouTube homepage. If you're making very niche specific content, let's say you're playing a video game that's in beta, for example, like Clash Mini. Clash Mini is not global for a global audience yet. That probably happens maybe in 2025, if it happens at all. There's less people to watch that video than to watch a video about Clash of Clans or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken, or Fortnite even. Okay, so that's one problem. On the other hand, if you make something that's really popular and it's in a saturated niche, then there's a lot of that content spread out, and then you have to compete with the top people in the market that make extremely high quality content if you want to stand out. And maybe you don't have the talent to make a high effort video, an impossible idea. Maybe you don't have the talent to stand out in that way. Maybe you're not a good thumbnail designer, so maybe you don't have the ability to stand out visually and get a better click-through rate and then perform there. Maybe you're not good at editing, storytelling, or being confident on camera because you're an absolute rookie. So now, where are you gonna get the watch time? Where are you gonna get the retention rate to have your video perform really well? So even given the opportunity, there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. And then maybe you work a full-time job and you can't be consistent at your uploads and other people can. So we have to really kind of address those issues in order to grow as a content creator on YouTube, or frankly on any platform. So what's gonna help you? Like I said, if you're in a position where you have the talent, skills, or knowledge to make content that other people can't make, it gives you an advantage even in a saturated niche, because niches are only saturated with low effort content, low hanging fruit, low value, low quality, because it's mostly a lot of rookies, and it's also a lot of people who don't have as much time to put into their content. Time's the big bottleneck. So where we can make higher effort content is partly the impossible idea. Our content can improve in its quality when we're able to put more time into it. So maybe if a video has 20, 40, 50, 100 hours behind it, maybe that does better than something that has 1 or 2 hours behind it. Not always, but a lot of the time. Maybe that helps us make something that stands out and is more of an outlier video. In terms of the value of the video, value is packaging. Books, judged by their cover every time. Everyone's judged by their appearance. Pretty privilege is a thing. So if we know that, hey, we're judged on appearance, we're judged on looks, shouldn't we make the best looking thumbnail possible? So why is it a lot of beginners get frustrated with why they're not getting views when their packaging feels low value? It feels cheap. It feels like there wasn't a lot of thought or quality or care between this. Most people watch YouTube on their mobile phones. why aren't you making thumbnails that are easy to see, easy to read, and easy to understand at a glance on the phone? Why is it that I can look at something for 2 seconds and go, nah, I'm not gonna watch that? It's the 2-second rule. You have 2 seconds when someone's scrolling through their phone to get their attention visually with a thumbnail, convince them to read a title, then they have to know whether that title applies to them. You're qualifying or disqualifying your audience on the title. The title conveys the topic. The thumbnail and title are working together to do that. And then there's a such thing as timing. You can get more views if you are trend jacking and you're talking about something current and relevant to the audience that you chose, the audience avatar that you chose. So if you're making content for stay-at-home moms, the title and thumbnail has to be packaged for that, and it has to be a topic and idea that is relevant to them where they are in their life in that moment. If it's not, you're out. If your audience is gamers, hey, the game has a new update. There's new skins for Brawl Stars. Guess what? If you go ahead and you get on top of an update video that's, again, trend jacking, you have a better chance of getting much more views. And if the thumbnail and title are good, and you know that market and know that audience very well, and you knew exactly how to appeal to them, you've won on topic, title, thumbnail, and timing, the 4 T's. That is how we convey value up front. Then we gotta deliver on that value in the quality of our video. And how do we do that? We do that from our performance on camera, which is your confidence, charisma, communication skills, your ability to connect with the audience on camera. That is your performance. As for your personality, the other P, your personality, that's gonna come down to the structure of your videos, like having a good intro hook, having good calls to action, doing storytelling throughout. Storytelling is the other S in that equation. And of course, it's gonna be your style, the visual and aesthetic style of how you present and edit. So it's gonna be that. And then it's gonna be production. So that's gonna be the 3 Ps. For production, it's gonna be lights, camera, audio, my friend, is going to be what goes in. If you got garbage in, you got garbage out. So you want good audio. Big distraction if you don't. Good audio when it comes to YouTube videos is anything from $50 with a deity microphone. I'll link to some of my gear in the description for you. There'll be budget gear, and then there'll be high-end stuff. It could be $50, or it could be $500 with a Shure SM7DB. It just depends on how far you're willing to go and what your budget allows for. So that's gonna be good audio. Good lighting could be $100 with like a ring light, could be just under $100 with an $8 ring light. Probably need to do that video on the 6 best lights you can buy for YouTube under $100. Let me know if you want that video, and I'll go ahead and try and get right on that for a Tech Tuesday video for you. So you're gonna wanna do something like that. Maybe it's at least $100 of lighting, could go up to $1,000 of lighting if you want a 3 light setup with it being overkill and you want diffused lighting. I like diffused lighting, got a darker complexion, gotta work on the lighting for that. So, you see where I'm going. So it could be 100, it could be 1,000 on the lighting. Then there's camera equipment. Look, you can start with a $500, something like a Sony ZV-1F ultimate vlogging camera on a budget, does all things, has the requisite flip out screen that every YouTuber needs, selfie mode, okay? The other thing you could do is you could start with what you have. You start with your smartphone. There are limitations that come with that. They're getting better and better every day, but I think sometimes a dedicated camera makes it easier to also have the dedicated audio and to also not have to do overkill with the lighting to compensate sometimes. So that's what I would say. The other thing that plays a role when it comes to this is also things like set design. Set design can be something that contributes to the value and to the, what would we say, the personality and the aesthetic of a video that people come to be used to. So I would tell you that those things matter, but starting out, try to do the best you can with what you have, where you are, on the budget that exists. Do not go into debt to try to just make higher and higher quality content when you're not even good on camera yet. In terms of putting your time into your videos, put a lot of time, effort, and energy into crafting really good ideas. The idea generation, the topics, that is a huge deal when it comes to your content strategy. You also have to make sure those ideas are aligned to the audience. A lot of creators don't grow when they're small YouTubers and new YouTubers because they're making something for themselves and they don't realize that what you want to make is not always what the audience wants to watch. A YouTuber who puts the audience first will grow. A YouTuber who puts their own wants, desires, and expression first will probably have the hardest time growing. It is rare unicorns who get to do that. A lot of people get to do that later in their career. Starting out, you have to earn your respect. You have to earn trust from the audience, and you do have to do some personal growth as a creator to be able to have the privilege of making what you want. That's just how it is. If you're a hobby creator, not trying to go full-time, don't worry about it. Make whatever the hell you want, have fun. If you want this to be a full-time job, you want to be a full-time YouTuber, you want to be a full-time content creator, hey, that's called customer service, baby. You put the audience first, you take care of them, they take care of you. That's the deal. Make what they want. You give the people what they want. Sounds really simple, but it's actually emotionally very difficult for a lot of people to commit to doing and being consistent at it. Even me, especially me. If you can get past that hurdle, what you want to do is you want to keep refining those ideas, and you want to kind of find buckets of content so that in the value that you're promising, your value proposition, the unique value proposition that you have for your audience of, hey, here's what you get from me. You watch me because ... You watch me because I do this, or you watch me because I never do that. That is what you want to figure out for your value proposition. So ultimately, what you want to do once you have that is then figure out variety within that niche, variety within that clearly defined audience avatar. This is your content strategy. What we do in Awesome Creator Academy is we call this building your content pillars. Then you have individual video ideas for those content pillars. My content strategy revolves around people usually making 100 videos a year. Sometimes we can put that down to 50 videos a year because we're going on an either 2 video a week schedule for 100 videos a year or a 1 video a week schedule for 50 videos a year. The way that we usually think of this is if you're going something like maybe you're doing reaction, education, or commentary, or you're doing something that's more in like, your profession, your career, you can usually make 2 videos a week. And these can take you up to 5 to 10 hours per video if you're trying to make the best quality version of this that balances quality and quantity. And you can do this even if you have a 9-to-5 job, because then this means that with 10 to 20 spare hours a week, you have the time to put in for this. So that's letting you make 2 videos a week, 100 videos a year, and be able to do that and be consistent at it. Now, in other cases, what we'll do is if someone either has less time or they want to make higher quality content, we'll go to 1 video a week. And what we say is put 10 to 20 hours per video into that. And so you might have noticed that if we do this either way, we kind of are optimizing around putting in 1,000 hours in the first year of doing our content creation. In an extreme where someone wants to make really, really high-end stuff, we say 25 videos a year. And we say put 40 to 50 hours into that if you're doing 20 to 25 videos a year. Remember, this gets us our 1,000 hours. That 1,000 hours investment is what's really gonna grow us as a content creator and ultimately allow us to get our audience growth, allow us to build our reputation, and allow us to make our income, our revenue, and make money. The philosophy here, what I teach in Awesome Creator Academy, is reach, reputation, and revenue. We make things that can grow us in terms of reach with our audience. We do things to build trust in our reputation among our audience, our peers, and our industry, and with the brands that we work with. And then we also optimize for revenue. And we try to make revenue that allows us to have a stress-free, comfortable life and reinvest back into our audience and into the quality of our content. And so that's kind of the overarching philosophy for how I teach content creation on YouTube, podcasting, and live streaming. If that's something you ever want to work with me on, links in the description, go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. Main thing to focus on here is that we need to focus on building great packaging so we can convey value that gets us views on topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. Then once we get the promise out there, we have to deliver on that promise with high quality video that is performed, produced, and edited to get retention and watch time for our videos. That's going to increase our performance overall on YouTube. And then we have to build a robust content strategy so that we keep delivering on our promises, maintain the quality of those videos across our inventory and library of content so people keep coming back, binge watching, comment, engaging, subscribing. Ideally, we optimize this for monetization down the road. You're a beginner, maybe you don't worry about that as much. And then through the links that people click on, in addition to watching the videos for the ad revenue, they're clicking on links, they're doing different things. And then we're generating revenue other ways, whether that's selling physical or digital products, whether it's selling a service of some kind, whether it's working with sponsors, whether it's affiliate links like with the Amazon influencer program, or whether it's, like we said, merchandise, even memberships. There's all these ways to monetize. I have an entire series on monetizing and making more revenue from your YouTube channel, from your podcast, your live streams, your content as a whole. So when we focus properly and we build systems, we have structure in place, and we build support where we need it later down the road, we have the ability to go from being zero to hero, being able to be a new YouTuber that puts themselves on path to growth, being able to start with 0 subscribers, 0 views, and build something meaningful for an audience that actually cares about us. The way we do that is we put the audience first, and we do that by being thoughtful. We choose an audience intentionally where we have the skills to be able to deliver quality content to that audience. We're passionate enough and actually like the audience we have and don't resent them. We're passionate enough about that, but it has to be a big enough audience. It has to be a big enough audience, frankly, to satisfy our ego so that we get enough views and subscribers from it. We also need that audience to be big enough for us to be able to potentially monetize, whether that's monetizing them directly or relying on advertisers and sponsors. So you have to balance those 4 things. That's called Ikigai. It's a Japanese philosophy. I've talked about it here on the channel before, but Ikigai is the secret to success as a content creator, because you need something you're just passionate enough about. It doesn't have to be your number one passion. It just has to be something you will not get bored with, so that you don't make your audience suffer by code switching on them every minute and changing niches every minute. When you get bored, your boredom isn't the audience's problem. Put the audience first. So align with like-minded people that you actually like and are passionate about. That audience has to be big enough to satisfy your ego and for you to be able to make money and profit and monetize. And you also have to develop the skills, or have them already, to deliver value and quality to that audience. This is exactly what you need to know starting out as a new YouTuber who wants to grow. And this content and this information will still be good in 2025, 2026, 2027, because this is the foundation of building a successful YouTube channel. If you want more advice on building a successful and profitable YouTube channel, click the link in the description down below. I've made a dedicated video on it. Stay awesome, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.